Step into your adventures in Dreamland. Soft, surreal, and slightly cheeky sleep stories with awe and wonder. I'm Serene, your guide tonight. I'm so glad you're here. However your day unfolded, I'm grateful to be a part of how it ends. I'd love to know where you're listening from and what time it is. I read every comment. Every tap helps pay the cloud mortgage here in Dreamland. And if your finger ever drifts towards the subscribe button, rumor has it your sleep deepens by 11%. Not proven, just whispered. I say the science is still out. Now we return to what we are. It's strange. People have no idea. There are only 3 states of being, and you move through all of them every night. Right now, we're in our most superficial state, awake, bound by the senses and ego, influenced by the outward stimuli of the physical world. And while dreaming, the subconscious is in control, projecting stored impressions, thoughts, desires, no longer governed by the physical rules. And in deep sleep, there are no dreams, no mental activity, no ego, just a temporary return to the pure awareness of the soul, united with the divine, though you won't remember it. Bliss without awareness, tasting divine peace, what yogis pursue in stillness and saints devote lifetimes to finding. So relax. Let go. You are returning back to your inherent state. Freedom. Your story begins. The discovery of X-rays is episode 70 and part of our Dream Wonders playlist, where we appreciate fascinating facts in our world of wonder. One, the glow that shouldn't be. The laboratory is dark, deliberately dark. You find yourself standing in a cluttered room filled with glass tubes, copper wires, and strange apparatus that hums with electrical potential. The year is 1895. The place is Würzburg, Germany, a quiet university town where nothing extraordinary ever happens. Until tonight, a man stands with his back to you, frozen in place. He's 50 years old, bearded, wearing a rumpled coat. He's staring at something across the room, a small fluorescent screen propped against a stack of books. The screen is glowing. This shouldn't be possible. The cathode tube on his workbench, the source of any rays that might cause such a glow, is completely wrapped in black cardboard. No light should escape. Nothing should reach that screen. And yet, I am already moving, something whispers. Not the man, something else. Something invisible, threading through the darkness like thought through sleep. I have always been moving. You simply didn't know how to see me yet. The man, his name is Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen, takes one step toward the screen, then another. His hand trembles slightly as he reaches out, as if to touch the impossible glow. You blink. Okay, either this guy's screen is broken, or something just passed through solid matter like it wasn't even there. Röntgen doesn't hear you. He's not listening to anything except the question forming in his mind, the question that will consume the next 6 weeks of his life, ruin his sleep, wreck his appetite, and change medicine forever. What is this? He looks at the covered tube. He looks at the glowing screen. He looks at the empty air between them, air that should stop whatever this is. I am what travels when nothing else can, the rays whisper. I am the light that doesn't need permission. Röntgen reaches for his notebook, and history holds its breath. 2. The man in the dark. Before we watch Röntgen chase the impossible, you need to understand who he was. Because the man standing in that darkened lab, the one about to change how humanity sees itself, almost never made it to science at all. Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen was born in 1845 in Lennep, Prussia, a small town that would later become part of Germany. His father was a cloth merchant, prosperous enough to send Wilhelm to good schools, ambitious enough to want his son to succeed. But school had other plans. I see through things, the rays whisper. I see the boy who was expelled. I see the injustice that shaped him. When Wilhelm was 17, a classmate drew a cruel caricature of a teacher. Wilhelm laughed at it, just laughed, and was blamed for creating it. The school expelled him, not suspended, expelled. His academic record was marked, and the doors of German universities slammed shut. No diploma, no admission, no future in science. But Wilhelm didn't quit. He found a back door, the Federal Polytechnic Institute in Zurich, Switzerland, which accepted students without traditional credentials. He studied mechanical engineering, then pivoted to physics. He earned his doctorate. He clawed his way into academia, one paper at a time, one appointment at a time, always carrying the scar of that false accusation. Injustice makes some people bitter, the rays observe. It made him precise, meticulous. He trusted only what he could prove. By 1895, Röntgen was a respected professor at the University of Würzburg. Not famous, but solid, reliable, known for careful experiments and rigorous methods. He was the kind of scientist who checked his results 10 times before publishing once. He was also curious about cathode rays, those strange beams of electrons that scientists across Europe were racing to understand. Researchers in England, France, and Germany were all experimenting with vacuum tubes, trying to figure out what these rays could do, how far they could travel, what they could penetrate. Röntgen wasn't trying to make history. He was just trying to understand. But on the night of November 8th, 1895, understanding would find him first. He didn't discover me, the rays whisper. He simply stopped ignoring what had always been there. 3. What is a cathode ray? Röntgen turns back to his workbench, where the cathode tube sits humming beneath its cardboard shroud. You lean closer, trying to understand what you're seeing. Let me explain what he was working with, the rays murmur. Before you can understand what I am, you must understand what he thought he was studying. The cathode tube is a glass cylinder with most of the air pumped out, a near vacuum. Metal electrodes at each end connect to a power source. When electricity flows, something streams from the negative electrode, the cathode, to the positive one, the anode. That stream was called cathode rays. Scientists in 1895 knew cathode rays existed. They could make fluorescent screens glow. They could be bent by magnets, but no one fully understood what they were. Electrons hadn't been officially discovered yet. That would come 2 years later when J.J. Thomson proved cathode rays were streams of tiny charged particles. Röntgen wasn't studying cathode rays directly. He was studying whether they could escape the glass tube, whether they could penetrate thin materials and travel through air. He covered the tube in black cardboard, the rays explain, to block all visible light. He wanted to see only the cathode rays, if they escaped. He wanted a controlled experiment, a clean result. But when he turned on the tube in the darkened room, the fluorescent screen across the lab, too far away for cathode rays to reach, began to glow. Cathode rays couldn't travel that far. They couldn't pass through air for more than a few centimeters. Something else was happening. I was happening, the rays whisper. I was born inside the tube when the cathode rays struck the glass. I was something new, shorter in wavelength, higher in energy, capable of passing through matter that would stop ordinary light. Röntgen didn't know any of this yet. He only knew that the impossible was glowing at him from across the room. He held up his hand between the tube and the screen. The screen kept glowing, but now there was a shadow, a strange shadow, a shadow that showed the bones inside his flesh. That was the moment, the rays say. That was when he saw through himself for the first time. 4. 6 weeks of obsession. Röntgen told no one, not his colleagues, not his assistants, not even his wife, Bertha. For 6 weeks, he locked himself in his laboratory and chased the mystery alone. He was afraid, the rays whisper, not of me, of being wrong, of announcing a discovery that would turn out to be an error. The boy who was expelled for something he didn't do had learned to trust only certainty. You watch as the days blur together. Röntgen barely eats. He sleeps in his laboratory, sometimes on a cot, sometimes slumped over his desk. His beard grows wilder. His eyes grow brighter. He is consumed. He tests everything. Paper, the rays pass through. Wood, the rays pass through. A thick book, the rays pass through, though dimmer now. Thin sheets of metal, most pass through, but the shadow is darker. Lead, the rays stop. Finally, something that blocks them completely. Lead, the rays murmur, my only darkness, the element too dense for me to penetrate. He discovered my limit, and in doing so, discovered how to control me. Röntgen places objects between the tube and a photographic plate. He exposes the plate to the invisible rays. When he develops it, he sees images, shadows of things the rays couldn't fully penetrate. The compass in its wooden case, visible through the wood, coins inside a closed purse, waits inside a sealed box, and then his own hand. He holds his palm over a photographic plate, turns on the tube, waits, develops the image, and there they are, his bones, his actual bones, floating inside the shadow of his flesh, the rings on his fingers glowing white, where the metal stopped the rays. You are looking at yourself from the inside, the rays say. No scalpel, no incision, no death, just light, my light, showing what was always hidden. He still doesn't know what the rays are. He's tested them for reflection, refraction, polarization. They behave like nothing he's seen before. They're not cathode rays. They're not ordinary light. They're not anything in the textbooks. So he names them the only honest thing he can. X, the unknown. I am the unknown, the rays whisper. I am what happens when curiosity refuses to stop at the edge of the visible. 6 weeks pass. Röntgen has a stack of photographic plates. He has pages of notes. He has confirmation after confirmation that these rays are real, reproducible, and capable of seeing through solid matter. But he still hasn't told a soul, until the night he finally tells Bertha and asks her to give him her hand. 5. Bertha's hand. It is late December 1895. The laboratory is cold, the winter pressing against the windows. Röntgen has finally told his wife what he's been doing, why he's missed dinners, why he's slept on his workbench, why he's looked at her across the breakfast table with eyes that seem to see through everything. Bertha listens. She doesn't fully understand, but she trusts him. She's been married to this man for nearly 30 years. She knows when he's on to something real. Show me, she says. Röntgen leads her into the laboratory. The cathode tube hums on the workbench, covered in its black cardboard sleeve. A photographic plate sits ready on a wooden stand. Place your hand here, he says, and hold still. It will take several minutes. I watched her, the rays whisper. I watched her spread her fingers on the cold plate. I watched her wedding ring catch the light, the last ordinary light she would see before I showed her what was underneath. Bertha holds still. The tube hums. Invisible rays pour through her flesh like water through silk, stopped only by the dense calcium of her bones, the thick gold of her ring. When it's over, Röntgen takes the plate into his dark room. Bertha waits, rubbing warmth back into her fingers. Minutes pass. Then Röntgen emerges, holding the developed plate up to the lamp. And Bertha sees herself, not her hand as she knows it, soft, lined, familiar. She sees her bones, her actual skeleton floating in a gray shadow of flesh, her knuckles like knots in a rope, her finger bones like pale sticks, and there, glowing bright on her fourth finger, her wedding ring, solid, undeniable, circling a bone that will one day be buried. She went pale, the rays remember. Her hand trembled, and she said the words that would echo through history. I have seen what waits inside me. Röntgen doesn't respond. He's looking at the image too, the most important photograph ever taken, though neither of them knows it yet. The first X-ray of a human body, the first glimpse inside the living without cutting them open. Bertha leaves the laboratory. She doesn't come back for a long time. I only showed her what was already waiting, the skeleton she would become, the ring that would outlast her flesh, the truth that every body carries its ending from the very first breath. Röntgen sits alone with the photograph, he knows now that he has something real, something that will change everything. On December 28, 1895, he submits his paper on a new kind of rays. The world is about to see through itself. 6. The world explodes. The paper lands like a bomb. Within days, scientists across Europe are replicating Röntgen's experiments. Within weeks, newspapers are printing X-ray images on their front pages. Within months, the technology is in hospitals, and doctors are seeing inside patients for the first time in human history. I spread faster than any plague, the rays say, faster than any idea, because I was not just knowledge, I was proof. Anyone with a cathode tube and a photographic plate could see through flesh. Anyone could confirm that the invisible was real. You watch as the world transforms. A doctor in Vienna uses X-rays to find a bullet lodged in a soldier's leg. No exploratory surgery, no guessing, just an image showing exactly where to cut. A surgeon in Liverpool locates a swallowed coin in a child's throat. A hospital in New York photographs a broken arm, the fracture visible as a dark line through the white bone. Before X-rays, doctors worked blind. They could feel for lumps, listen for heartbeats, observe symptoms, but they couldn't see. Diagnosis was guesswork. Surgery was exploration. The body was a locked room. I was the key, the rays whisper. I opened the door that had been closed since the first human wondered what was inside. The public is fascinated and terrified. Newspapers run cartoons of X-ray machines that can see through clothing. Privacy is dead, they joke. A London company sells X-ray-proof undergarments. People wonder if the rays can read thoughts, expose secrets, strip away everything hidden. They can't, of course. X-rays show bones and metal, not minds and souls. But the fear reveals something true. Humanity wasn't ready to be seen. Not like this. Not all at once. You had spent your whole history hiding, the rays observe. Behind walls, behind skin, behind silence. And suddenly, there was a light that made hiding impossible. No wonder you were afraid. Röntgen watches the chaos from his laboratory in Würzburg. He's invited to lecture, to demonstrate, to accept honors. He declines most of them. He's not interested in fame. He's already working on his next experiment, his next question, his next unknown. But the world won't let him be quiet for long. In 1901, the Nobel Prize in Physics is awarded for the first time in history. The winner is Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen. 7. The man who refused to profit Stockholm. December 1901. The first Nobel ceremony. Kings and scientists, journalists and dignitaries, all gathered to honor the greatest minds of the age. Röntgen accepts his prize, and then does something almost unheard of. He donates the money to his university. He could have been rich, the rays whisper, spectacularly, impossibly rich. Every hospital in the world wanted X-ray equipment. Every manufacturer wanted to license his discovery. He could have named his price. But Röntgen refuses to patent X-rays, refuses to claim ownership, refuses to profit from something he believes belongs to everyone. I have no wish to see my discovery become a commercial object, he says. It is the property of science. It should be available to all. You watch as other men grow wealthy from his work. Manufacturers build machines. Entrepreneurs start companies. Fortunes rise on the foundation of Röntgen's discovery, and none of it flows back to him. This was his choice, the rays say, not naivety, not foolishness, principle. The boy who was expelled for something he didn't do had grown into a man who cared more about truth than reward. The years pass. World War I devastates Germany. The economy collapses. Inflation spirals until money becomes nearly worthless. Workers carry their wages home in wheelbarrows, and the price of bread changes between morning and afternoon. Röntgen's savings evaporate. His pension becomes worthless. The man who could have been one of the wealthiest scientists in history dies on February 10th, 1923, nearly broke. He was 77 years old. He left no fortune, the rays whisper, but he left something else, something that cannot inflate away, something that still hums in every hospital, every clinic, every dentist's office in the world. In his will, he requested that all his personal papers and correspondence be burned. They were. He wanted to be remembered for the work, not the man, for the discovery, not the discoverer, for the light he found, not the shadow he cast. Even in death, the rays observe, he refused to be seen. 8. What the rays still see. The Nobel ceremony fades. The laboratories fade. You're somewhere quieter now, a hospital corridor perhaps, or a dentist's office, or an airport security line. The hum of machines is everywhere, soft and constant. I am still here, the rays whisper, 130 years later, and I have not stopped looking. You see images flickering in the darkness, chest X-rays showing healthy lungs, dental X-rays finding hidden cavities, security scanners revealing the contents of a suitcase, CT machines spinning around patients, building three-dimensional maps of the body, radiation therapy, targeting tumors with precision Röntgen never dreamed of. I have become ordinary, the rays say, and that is the greatest compliment. Technologies that change the world eventually become invisible, not because they stop working, but because they work so well that no one notices anymore. The hum grows softer, gentler, but I remember the beginning, the darkened laboratory, the glowing screen, the man who spent 6 weeks alone with a mystery because he was too careful to speak before he was certain. You feel the rays passing through you now, not painfully, not even noticeably, just a whisper of energy, too faint to feel, too constant to escape. I have seen through millions of bodies, billions perhaps. I have found bullets and tumors, fractures and swallowed coins. I have saved lives that would have been lost to guesswork, and I have shown people things they weren't ready to see, their own bones, their own fragility, their own eventual end. The corridor softens, the machines blur. You're not in a hospital anymore. You're somewhere warmer, quieter, closer to sleep. Bertha was right, in a way, the rays whisper. Every X-ray is a glimpse of what's underneath, the skeleton waiting inside, the structure that will remain when the flesh is gone. But that's not a curse. That's a gift. To see your own bones is to remember that you are temporary, and that temporary things are worth protecting. The hum becomes indistinguishable from silence. Röntgen gave me to the world because he believed some things shouldn't be owned. He died with empty pockets and a clear conscience. And every time a doctor finds a fracture, every time a surgeon locates a tumor, every time a child swallows a quarter, and someone finds it without cutting, that's his gift, still giving. The darkness is warm now. The X-rays have faded. You're in your bed, or somewhere like it. Sleep now. You carry your skeleton gently, the way it carries you, and somewhere in the hum of the machines, Röntgen is still working, still asking what else light can do when it refuses to stop at the edge of the visible. A breath. You are held. You are seen. You are home. Sweet dreams.